Seeing as a lot of people are on the job search right now, like a lot of people, like a lot of people, I figured it would be as fitting a topic as ever to talk about the one question that I always make sure to ask in interviews. I know there's a lot of differing advice, and honestly, at the end of the day, the hard reality is that you have to decide for yourself what matters most important to you to ask in interviews. Some people like to play it super safe and ask stuff that will definitely never offend the interviewer. Or some people like to let people know exactly what they're dealing with. Most people are probably somewhere in between. So the question that I always ask in every interview is, do you judge your employees by time spent at work or by output? If it is not obvious, what I mean by this is, are managers going to look at whether their employee came in at 9, took their whatever number break, and then left at whatever 8 hours plus break time was from the time they came in? Because if that is the way they judge, then cut me the flying fuck out and let's just end this interview right now and not waste any more of each other's time. A good example of this done right is that actually in my current job, which I would love to stay in, but the company will not pull its head out of its ass long enough to realize people need livable salaries, is that my current boss does not care when I come into the office, when I leave, even how many hours I work. I have these certain documents I need to write, and the question is whether they get done or not. And it makes sense when you think about it. Even if I were to say that I worked 8 hours, if the documents weren't done, he wouldn't care. So why would he care if all the documents are done well, and I only worked, say, 6 hours that day? Related to this question, you can also ask about what metrics the employer uses to judge their employees, and how bullshit the metrics are. Anyone who knows me knows it is no secret that I'm not a huge fan of metrics, but some metrics are at least justifiable as long as you understand their limits, and some metrics just have no place in anywhere at all. So for example, when I was a QA engineer, contractor at Quantum Health through Manifest Solutions, I was judged by number of automation tests written. We had repeat ones, we had broken ones, it didn't matter. The manager counted them all because she wanted this nice little pretty number to take to the manager above her and say, hey, look how awesome I am, and to take credit for her employees' work. For those who are still afraid of asking the tough questions in interviews, all you need to do is ask yourself, would you rather find out now in the interview process that the employer you may be about to work for are shallow and immature about how they measure their employees, or do they actually recognize them as adults and should be treated as such? Would you rather find that out once you actually get into the job? Now, I know the common excuse is, oh, but I got kids and stuff at home and da and bills, and if it is really that desperate and you have to take the first job they'll give you a job offer, okay, but then constantly keep looking. Being a job hopper is not going to hurt, especially in contract work. If you take a contract job, are only in it for 3 months, regardless of the length of the contract, and then go get a full-time position, it will not hurt you at all. In my many interviews, I have been told, listen, I have been in more contract jobs by this point than I can count. I actually was about ready to count it in my head, and I gave up because it's so many. And it has yet to hurt my job chances. And I have been told point blank that contract positions are expected to be numerous. Usually where you get yourself more in trouble is if you jump in and out of full-time positions. So go forth, fellow job seekers, and try to take less shit.